Hi everybody, my name is Nisha and I am the instructor and founder here at LaBelle Hair Company. Today's topic, we're going to be speaking on how do you know if luxury extensions are for you. We will be highlighting each of the luxury extension methods that are currently trending right now, even though they've always been around. The price point, the maintenance, how your lifestyle comes into play with it, as well as touching just a little bit on texture match. If you are interested in knowing, make sure you stay tuned and continue watching this video. First up, we have tape-in extensions. I will be letting you know exactly what it means to get tape-in extensions, as well as how they are applied, the maintenance, upkeep, the pricing, all of that good stuff. We have the tape-in extensions, and these are how they actually look. I'm not sure if you can see them. How your tape-ins are going to arrive. They're going to arrive like this. The texture that you are currently seeing with the tape-in extensions is the Vietnamese straight. This is raw hair, so as you can see, it has a slight wave to it, but that's because it's raw hair, so it's not just bone straight, but it will get bone straight once you actually straighten it. With the tape-in extensions, they come in a set of 20 pieces. The average person is going to use anywhere between 100 to 150 pieces on their head, depending on how full and the actual length that they're trying to get with the tape-in extensions. With tape-ins, you'll notice that there is going to be tape on one side of the actual extension. How it works is you have your hair in the middle of the extension, and then you have one tape on top and one tape on bottom, and it's gonna be sandwiched into your hair. When it comes to tape-in extensions, the use of adhesive is used because the tape is adhesive. So if you are someone that sweats a lot or you live an active lifestyle, tape-ins might not be the option for you. And the reason being is because due to the adhesive, you want to make sure that you're not getting any type of oils or alcohol near the actual tapes, or it will cause them to slide out. Another thing that I would like to point out when it comes to tape-in extensions is the versatility of them. You do have the ability to wear your hair up or down when it comes to the tape-in extensions. It's only going to allow up and down movement when it comes to your hair. If you're someone who is interested in wanting a quick, easy application, then tape-in extensions are going to be your go-to. When it comes to maintenance of the tape-in extensions, you're going to want to make sure that you are getting them removed at 8 weeks. Now you can get them removed and reinstalled, but the tape-in install should only last about 8 weeks. I say 8 weeks at the max. Sometimes people can push it to 10 weeks, but again, it depends on the actual stylist. Quick disclaimer. When you are trying to get luxury extensions, you want to make sure that you're going to a specialist who is certified within this area. In no way, shape, or form are any of these extension methods protective styles. They do not protect your hair. All of your hair is going to be exposed. So what that means is, if the install is installed or removed incorrectly, it may damage your hair as well as take your hair out. So again, you want to make sure you're going to someone who is certified in these extension methods. It's very important. Also, I want you to understand the price point that comes into play with the actual extension. In no way, shape, or form are these extension methods cheap. Now, there are people out there who perform the services at a lower price than others, but these aren't cheap extensions. So if you're someone who wants an affordable hairstyle, these extension methods that I'm going to be going over may not work for you because they have a high price point. Another thing that I do want to point out as a quick disclaimer is when it comes to the actual hair extension type that you're going to use for the extensions, you don't want to get cheap hair. You want to make sure the hair that you're getting is of high quality, because that way you're going to get your money's worth with the hair install. Not only that, but going to someone who actually knows how to perform the install within itself. So again, there's very little maintenance on the actual tape-in installations, but you want to make sure that they're being removed when they're supposed to be removed. When you are shampooing your hair, there's a certain way that you're supposed to shampoo your hair for at-home maintenance, if you're going to be someone who wants to shampoo yourself. If you feel more comfortable with going to the stylist, or you feel like it's gonna be a lot and you don't know how to shampoo your natural hair, it's gonna be easier on you to go to the stylist and have the stylist take care of it for you instead of you trying to experiment and do it yourself. Because remember, in no way, shape, or form is this hairstyle a protective style. If done incorrectly, it can damage your hair, it can rip your hair out. The next install that I am going to touch base on is going to be K-tips. Unfortunately, I don't have the K-tip listed up here, but I can explain to you how the K-tips work. With K-tip, there is heat that's used to melt the actual hair extension onto your head. With improper installation and removal, this can be damaging as also. Going back to what I said, none of these styles are protective styles. So all of your hair is exposed. So you need to make sure that you're going to a reputable stylist when getting any type of extension installed. Not only that, you're making sure that the extension is of high quality. You definitely don't want to cheat yourself when it comes to the extensions, because you got to remember, these are installs that you're going to be wearing them over a period of time. When it comes to K-tips, you can wear them from anywhere between 6 to 9 months. There's no maintenance required on K-tips. They're the most seamless extension out there because they're really undetectable because of how small they are. Again, unfortunately, I don't have a visual K-tip with me today, so I can't really show you guys how it actually looks, but I'll try to see if I can find a picture of it to put it on the side of me so you guys can visually see how K-tips look. With K-tips, the versatility is endless. It's 360 mobility, meaning you can put them up, twist them to the side, twist them to the other side. Really, it's versatile, even more versatile than tape-ins. With K-tips, they're also lightweight. With all of these extensions, for that matter, they're lightweight, but in terms of with K-tips, it's individual strand by strand, as opposed to with tape-ins, you have sandwiches. The extension on top, extension on bottom, and your hair in between. With K-tips, you can wear your hair up, you can wear your hair down. Again, going back to the versatility, the 360 versatility that it allows. If you have an active lifestyle, K-tips might be for you. Also, if you're someone with fine hair, K-tips might be a better choice, because when it comes to tape-ins, the only way you'll be able to add tape-ins into your hair is if your hair has the amount of coverage needed, because you still need hair to actually cover the extensions, right? So if you don't have a full hairline and you're someone with fine hair, tape-ins may not work for you. But again, there are other options out there for you. K-tip is the most expensive extension out there. And the reason being is because it takes the longest out of all of the extensions. And not only that, I really can't even put it into words, the look that K-tips give you, but it's definitely worth the price, especially if you're going to someone who's reputable and knows exactly what they're doing. The next extension method is going to be I-tips. And I'll show you guys exactly how I-tips look. So I-tips are individual strands. And what you do is you take the individual strand and you clamp it to the person's natural hair using a bead, and it'll stick with their hair. What I am showing you right now is our Vietnamese tight curly texture. This is going to be perfect for someone who has coarse hair. And the reason why it's gonna be perfect, I'm showing you how the hair looks in its natural state as well as how it looks blow dried out. The reason why it's gonna be perfect for someone with coarse hair is because when coarse hair comes into contact with humidity, the hair shaft, the hair cuticle, causing the hair shaft, tends to expand. Which is why you'll notice that sometimes if you're wearing straight extensions and your hair is naturally curly, or you have coily hair, you'll notice that once your hair starts to expand due to the humidity, you'll be tempted to put heat on it again to blend it with the straight texture. Whereas if you're gonna go for a coarse texture, as your natural hair expands, the extension within itself will expand as well. Another disclaimer is, for these extension methods, I only offer raw hair. And the reason why I offer raw hair only is because I want the hair to be able to mimic your natural hair as close as possible. So when I get these specific textures manufactured for me, I make sure that I'm speaking to the manufacturer so they can make the extensions mimic the client's hair as close as possible, because you won't have a 100% mimic, but I want to get it as close as possible to the client's hair. So therefore the extension is undetectable and it looks like it actually lives within the client's natural hair. You won't be able to tell if the client has extensions or not. When it comes to I-tip extensions, they're similar to K-tip extensions, but the only difference is the method. K-tip extensions, you actually use heat to melt the extension onto the hair. With I-tip extensions, you use an actual bead to clamp the extension onto the natural hair. It also gives the 360 mobility or versatility that K-tip extensions give, as well as it can last anywhere between 6 to 9 months. The only thing with K-tips and I-tips is K-tips doesn't require maintenance, but I-tips does. When it comes to maintenance on I-tips, it depends on the actual person's hair type as well as their texture. That's going to determine how frequent the person is going to need to come in for maintenance. I'm going to say this again throughout the entire video. None of these extension methods are protective styles. If installed incorrectly or removed incorrectly, it can cause damage to the hair, if not hair loss. If maintenance is not properly taken care of, it can cause damage and hair loss. So it's important for you to stay on track. If you're going to be someone that's going to get I-tip extensions, it's going to be important for you to stay on top of your maintenance appointments, as well as properly shampooing your hair and conditioning and detangling your hair, because you got to remember, this is going to be more hair on top of the hair that you already have. Another thing that I do want to point out with I-tip extensions is the price point. After K-tip, with K-tip being the most expensive price point, then it'll be I-tip extensions. And the reason being is because this is another strand by strand method. It doesn't take as long as K-tips because K-tips take the longest, but it still does take a decent amount of time. Typically, the person who will want to receive I-tip extensions are someone, if I was to have a client who has fine hair, I would recommend them to get I-tip extensions or K-tip extensions. Because of the visibility, because your hair is so fine, you need something that's going to be easily undetectable. You need something that's going to blend. Whereas I-tip and K-tip extensions are smaller than tape-in extensions. So I'll have an easier time hiding the extensions with I-tip extensions and K-tip extensions than I will have hiding tape-in extensions with someone with fine hair. As far as the upkeep, if you're someone and you don't feel like you can properly shampoo or condition your hair, or you don't have the patience to do it, it's best to just have the person who installed them, a salon professional, and also someone who specializes in the extension method, to just shampoo your hair and style it for you. In the same manner that you're going to take care of your natural hair, you're going to make sure you take care of the extensions as well. Next up, we have volume wefts. With volume wefts, honestly, you can call them volume wefts, you can call them microlinks, whatever you want to call them. But with microlinks, we actually use wefts. So these are the same wefts that would be used if someone wants to get a sew-in or if someone wants to get a ponytail, the exact same wefts. This is our Vietnamese body wave texture. As you can see, it has our tag on it and everything. But in terms of the actual volume wefts, this is going to be desired for someone who loves the braidless sew-in look. So when you're trying to figure out how full or how long you want your hair to be with the extensions, the type of method that's going to be used to give you that desired look that you want is going to play a part, because every look, every texture, every extension method is going to give you a different look. If you want something that's equivalent to a sew-in look, because that's what you're used to, volume wefts or microlinks, whatever you want to call them, is going to be your go-to. The maintenance for volume wefts is going to depend on your hair type as well as your hair texture. The amount of time that you're going to have the volume wefts installed for before you'll need to remove them, and at the discretion of the stylist if they want to reinstall them or if you can get them reinstalled, is going to be, it'll be anywhere from 12 to 16 weeks where you'll get these removed, and either they'll be installed again or you'll get them removed and give your hair a break. Again, that's at the discretion of the stylist. It depends on what your stylist deems is ideal for your hair's current state. Now, with the actual volume wefts, you can use anywhere between 2 bundles for the average person, 1 to 2 bundles, or if it's someone who has high density hair, they may be able to get away with 3, maybe 2.5, 2 1/4. It depends. But the amount of hair that you have on your head as well as your hair state plays a part in this as well. One thing that I did not touch base on, and I definitely want to before the end of this video, is how much of the extensions are needed. I stated with the tape-in extensions in the beginning, the average person will get anywhere between 100 to 150 at least. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people who get more, but that's the average person, 100 and 150. For I-tips and K-tips, the average person, again, anywhere between 150 at least. If you get more, then that's because you have more hair and you want it fuller. In terms of the volume wefts or the microlinks, whatever you want to call them, the average person will be using anywhere between 1 to 2 bundles. If you're someone with high density hair, you may be able to get away with 3 bundles, but that's a rare scenario. When you're choosing the amount of hair to actually get or purchase, you definitely want to make sure you're going with the stylist where they've went over all of this during your consultation, because everyone is different. Everyone's hair is different. The amount of hair that's going to need to be used is going to be different. So you definitely want to make sure that you are educated on how these extensions work, what extension will work best for you. Going back to what I was saying with the I-tip extension, same thing with the K-tips. How K-tips were perfect for someone with an active lifestyle, I-tips are perfect for someone with an active lifestyle as well. But on the flip side, let's say, for example, you have someone who has an active lifestyle, they sweat a lot, they need direct access to their scalp, I-tips are gonna be your go-to, I-tips or K-tips. But also, let's say you have someone who doesn't want any type of adhesive, they don't want any heat. I-tips are gonna be your go-to, because with K-tips, you have to melt the hair onto your actual hair. Tape-ins aren't your ideal extension method for someone who has a scalp condition or need direct access to their scalp, because you can't put any type of product near the tapes, because if you do, it's gonna cause them to slip. The price point really varies depending on the stylist that you're gonna go to. Some people charge price point of X amount of dollars, other people charge X amount of dollars, but in order, it would generally go K-tips being the most expensive, I-tips being the second most, then it'll be volume wefts, then it'll be tape-ins. But some people, they switch. Some people do tape-ins and then volume wefts, or some people do volume wefts then tape-ins. Honestly, it really just depends on the actual stylist. Again, the last one that I'm going to let you guys know about is the easiest one, and obviously is our best seller at the moment. It's going to be clip-in extensions. Now, what I am showing you guys is only 3 clips, but generally 10 pieces will come in a set. This is our deep wave texture, and we consider our deep wave texture a low maintenance texture for those whom have coarse hair or curly hair, because it'll provide just enough expansion that it won't be a 90% mimic, but it'll be just enough to still help you out as far as when your hair comes into contact with humidity. Again, clip-ins, they're the cheapest out of the entire extension methods and the fastest extension method, because all you have to do is part your hair and click. Now, because with clip-in extensions, they have combs attached to them that actually attach to your hair, you have to make sure that you go ahead and you remove these every single night. Because if you don't, with them being installed with a comb, it can actually pull your hair and cause your hair to be ripped out. So it can cause damage to your hair. These are a quick installation, and you can install these at home. With our clip-in extensions, we offer 150 grams, 200 grams, 250 grams, 300 grams. And we offer lengths 14 through 26. Now, the average person, if you're someone who just wants to go for fullness, but you want it to match the length of your natural hair, you're only gonna wanna purchase 1 pack. If you're going for fullness and length, you're gonna wanna purchase 2 packs. Again, 150 grams, 200 grams, 250 grams, 300 grams. The lengths are 14 through 26. We don't go any higher than 26. When we texture match with our clip-ins, we have the following textures available. Straight, like what I showed you. Body wave. Deep wave. What I have in my hair, deep curly. And tight curly. These are the textures that are going to mimic the average person's natural hair. So it doesn't matter what texture someone has, more than likely we're going to be able to mimic their actual hair pattern. And this is where texture matching will come into play. What I do want to make you guys aware of is a lot of people ask me, what does texture matching mean? I'm not gonna make this video long, but if you wanna know how I correctly texture match, make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts below, and stay tuned for the very next video, because that will be me speaking on texture matching. And these are the extension methods, what it takes to upkeep with them, an idea of the price point because everyone's prices are different, the reason for them, who they would be ideal for. With that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys' support. And until next time, bye-bye.